this is the time for you to go within. Your New Year's resolutions will sustain when you give yourself the opportunity to go within, look at the patterns that no longer serve, look at the patterns that are out of alignment with that blessed up you want to embody and you want to bring into 2023 and beyond, and start taking the initiative there. Welcome back to the Sovereign Society podcast. I'm your guide, Sabrina Riccio, and Happy New Year. What's really special is that this episode is coming out on 1/1/1. Today's the 11th. If you're listening to it when it comes out or watching this on YouTube, something I'm very excited about because I'm building on my YouTube channel in 2023 and beyond. So if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed, youtube.com/Sabrina Riccio. I'm going to be sharing a lot more information around programs to help you create smarter and not harder, including tutorials and how-tos and guides. My whole mission and purpose this year, my theme is create smarter, not harder. 2022, if you heard on the last episode, was the hardest year of my life, navigating through all the health challenges. But it's because I didn't have the systems in order ahead of time, and I found myself burning out. Also, as a projector in human design, got to be a little more cautious with your energy, right? So essentially, I'm just sharing that with you because I want to share with you my wisdom and my knowledge and what I've learned over the years alongside my passion for systems and just helping you with better productivity. So again, if you haven't yet, go check out youtube.com/Sabrina Riccio. Make sure you're subscribed because I've got a lot of things coming up. But I'm excited for a new year. I'm sure you are too. And it's been an interesting way to start, right? We're starting off this new year, and we have been diving into this new year with both Mars and Mercury retrograding. And that's why I wanted to create this episode, talking about why New Year's resolutions don't always work, or why they don't stick, and why they don't last. Because I think we've been conditioned in the society of a new year, new you. Yes, but what is time? Like, we're following this Gregorian calendar, and we say that January 1st is the beginning of the year, when in the northern hemisphere, for instance, we're still in the middle of winter, which is a time of death and rest and slowing down. And so I wanted to talk about in this episode just some maybe perspective shifts that can help you not be so hard on yourself if you find that you make these New Year's resolutions but they don't last, or you find yourself failing at them, or you give up, whatever. And if you are consistent, amazing, way to go. Like, you're one of the very small percentage of humanity that actually sticks with it. I don't remember what the statistics are, but the amount of people who sign up for gym memberships in the beginning of the year and then they don't go back after the first couple of weeks, it's pretty crazy. And I don't know about you, but as someone who studied marketing, I'm very aware, and I keep my eye out to see what's being marketed and what's going on. But around like after the holidays and January, the amount of like gym membership marketing ads explode. And I think a lot of us, there's this desire of wanting to sustain a New Year's resolution, but we have to get honest with why they don't work or why they don't stick. And so that's what I really wanted to dive into with this first episode, season 7 of the Sovereign Society podcast. I can't believe I've been doing this for 7 years now. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support, because this has been quite the ride. I'm very grateful to be one of the top 1% of podcasts, but I've been doing this for a long time. And again, this is just something I want to continue and share with you. So I've mentioned before the northern hemisphere being in the middle of winter, and if you're in the southern hemisphere with summer, I'm sure the likelihood of you continuing to sustain with the sun being out and just like the energy of summer and joyfulness, like can sustain. But in the northern hemisphere, it can be, again, a little more challenging in that winter season. As I'm recording this, I live in the desert and the sun hasn't been out for a couple days. And I literally just got off a call with my therapist. I'm like, I can really tell the difference of like not getting that vitamin D and being around the sunshine, and how the gloominess outside makes it really challenging for me to do anything. And I'm sure that's like that for a lot of people. Again, this winter season is about death and it's about slowing down. And Mercury and Mars being retrograde, really, that's the antithesis of the energy. We know Mars is being this action planet, taking action, taking initiative, and we know Mercury is all about communicating. But during this time, we have a lot of issues with tech with Mercury retrograde. We have to be more mindful on how we communicate, give ourselves more time when we leave for places. There's a lot more of this faultiness that can come with Mercury starting off the year, Mercury retrograde, but having this continuous, and we're almost at the end of this Mars retrograde, it's been a lot more about introspection. And so I want to mention this because this is the time for you to go within. Your New Year's resolutions will sustain when you give yourself the opportunity to go within, look at the patterns that no longer serve, look at the patterns that are out of alignment with that blessed up you want to embody and you want to bring into 2023 and beyond, and start taking the initiative there. I think so much of the challenge that we see, especially like in the world of business, while it's great to talk about like numbers and budgeting and all these things, none of that will sustain itself if you still have deep subconscious programs that are sabotaging your success. This is something that I love to do with a lot of my work. Well, I love to come up with like business strategy and marketing strategies with people. The bigger piece that I love to do is help people dive in and do that deeper work so that you can create that solid foundation to actually sustain that success you're calling in for the new year. So the question is, have you given yourself the time and the space yet, especially during this Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde window that we're in, to go within and to actually come up with a game plan to help set yourself up for success? Have you? I know for me, I'm in the middle of building and designing a new planner. It's going to be a digital planner that you'll be able to print. Right now, it's going to be like this until, who knows, maybe next year. My plan is to actually print it and sell it out like a journal. But I wanted to create something that will help you look at the bigger picture on how you want to scale for the upcoming year, the upcoming quarters, the upcoming months. We need to focus on the baby steps and gradually work onto this vision, or if we have this big vision and then working backwards so we know what's the steps to take in order to reach that destination. And that's, to me, what I think is the best part to actually cultivate success into the new year is like, are you allowing yourself, for instance, in the month of January, to embrace and honor the season of winter, especially here in the northern hemisphere, but to embrace the season of winter, to go within, to be gentle with yourself, to really acclimate to the energies and to really see, okay, this is what's going on right now. This is how I'm feeling. And that's also really challenging to do with Mercury retrograde, because once it goes direct and Mars going direct, there's going to be such a huge difference in your environment and within. Especially if you're someone with a lot of Mercury placements or you have a lot of Mars, Aries, for instance. I'm a Gemini sun with an exact conjunction in Jupiter and a Virgo moon. So I have a lot of Mercury in my chart. And so also my Mercury is conjunct with my MC. So Mercury is a very, very strong planet for me. And so I know for me, this is the time where, especially Mercury retrogrades, but feeling in the beginning of the year, how can I set myself up for success for the year ahead? And that's what I'm asking you. How are you setting yourself up for success for the year ahead? Are you focusing on your systems? Are you recognizing what worked and what didn't in 2022? Because that's the other thing. If you're calling in this blessed up version of you, there's going to be a time when the things that worked in the past, they're not going to be able to be sustained in this blessed up version of you, because it's going to require an updated version of you, an updated version of your habits, an updated version of your patterns. And these are the things that we need to really become aware of if we want to cultivate success as this blessed up version of who we are. So the question is, have you given yourself the time and space to do that? If not, see this as the invitation for you to do so. Essentially, what I'm sharing with you here, and I think this is interesting, this is what just came through to me. If we've had this Mars retrograding, right? And Mars is the ruler of Aries, right? We're going to be starting off a new season, the Equinox, spring equinox, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, we're going to be starting the new astrological year in Aries. That's a sign ruled by Mars. Mars, what I'm hearing right now, Mars is saying, get your shit together now so that when the astrological new year comes, when the sun comes out again, and we're not in this like gloomy winter blah, that you are really sustaining yourself for the next 9 months, for the rest of the year. And I don't know about you, but I just know so many of my friends and we like to see the new year coming really in the spring. I like to see this Q1 as the opportunity, again, for me to really set myself up for success for the rest of the year and to really hone in on my systems, to really hone in on my structures. That's why, like, my program, Alchemize Your Systems, is a great tool to help you start structuring yourself, whether that be with your social media strategy, whether that be with your emails, whether that be with setting up your podcast, whatever. Take this time to get those things in order so that you can, again, create smarter and not harder for the rest of the year. I just like to see winter as this time of hibernation. It's cold out. The sun's barely out. Why do we need to go gung-ho into the new year? We just got out of the holiday season, which can be very triggering for a lot of people, being back around family or not being around family. Maybe family members have passed on and this was your first holidays without them. Maybe you didn't have family to go through. There can be a lot that comes up with the holiday season. Yes, there's a lot of joy, but sometimes when you've had a whole other life and then you come back home and then you realize you're going back to like your high school teenage self, there can be a lot of triggers, a lot of subconscious work that can also be coming up. So I don't know if you've given your time to take or to integrate what you really got or what came up for you during the holiday season. I know for me, I'm gone well over 10 weeks now, just about 3 months of no seizures. I thought I was 3 months. My mom's like, she burst my bubble. She's like, don't mean to burst your bubble, but it's been 2.5 weeks. So 2.5 months. So whatever. I'm gone 10 weeks without a seizure. That's great for me. And I've healed myself naturally from seizures. That's going to be a whole other episode that I'm going to be talking about. But we need to give ourselves the time to also integrate what we learned from 2022, integrate what came up for us during the holidays. And again, I just think that's a better way to really go into a new year, is to have these intentions, yes, but you need to make the space to make those intentions. Maybe you did last year at the end of the year in December, maybe you didn't. All in all, the key is to cultivate and come up with that blueprint and a game plan on your goals and your visions and what you want to accomplish. Have you given yourself the opportunity to come into the SMART goals? We know that when we take the time to look at our goals, write it down, and not just like put it in a notebook and never look at it again. Write it down and like place it on the wall so you're constantly seeing it. Place it on your refrigerator, place it in your office space, place it on a Post-it note in your bathroom, something that you'll see it where you'll have these goals. But we need to make sure that we're honing in on these specific goals, that these goals that we're calling in are actually attainable, and are they measurable? So let me do that. I just got my dyslexia. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, right? So for instance, if you're someone, let's say you're still, you're working on making $5,000 in your business. Like maybe you're just starting off and you're working on making $5,000 a month. If you haven't attained that $5,000 a month yet, but you're trying or having this vision to go for $60,000 a month, work on these gradual steps so you don't burn out, right? You want to make these steps and these goals measurable and attainable Focus on, maybe 6 weeks of doing a meditation. We teach in Kundalini Yoga that if we do something every day for 40 days, we have the power to shift the subconscious mind. That's why I was doing this meditation for epilepsy that a friend of mine who did Kundalini teacher training with me, Terry, he gave me this book talking about meditation as medicine. And there was a Kundalini meditation in there about epilepsy. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I was doing it every night before bed, and I've been doing great. And I'm going to see my doctors and be like, I told you I didn't need medication to heal from this because I think there was a misdiagnosis and it's actually a hormone imbalance. But that's a whole other episode as well. But we need to have these measurable and attainable goals. So if for instance, let's say you haven't meditated at all. Let's focus on I'm going to meditate every day for a week. That's an attainable, measurable goal. Start from there. Don't overwhelm yourself. You want to take these gradual steps that you can actually celebrate this level of success with. And you'll get to that destination more likely if you're taking small steps rather than huge leaps that are realistic, I should say. But again, of course, it's about taking that leap of faith, but you want to make sure there's something that you can actually cross off the list, something you can accomplish. And when you do accomplish it, make sure you give yourself the opportunity to celebrate as well. So when you're thinking about these SMART goals, are you actually thinking them on a weekly basis, even a daily basis? Maybe you have a daily routine you want to do or structure in that sense. Are you thinking on a monthly, a quarterly, and a yearly thing? And again, how can you work these in small steps? But the key to remember is that while it's great to focus on the year, as you evolve, so too will your vision, so too will your business, so too will your goals that will be even bigger and beyond your wildest dreams, something that you'll be able to look back on. But these small steps are critical for us to sustain ourselves. So are you willing to do that deeper subconscious work that has been your path of least resistance, the story you've been telling yourself over and over again, and to also come face to face with your limiting doubts and beliefs as to why you can't accomplish this within a week, why you can't accomplish this during a month, why you can't within a year? Get honest with yourself. I want you to recognize and to remember that you are the creator of your reality, and there can be some things that I'm telling you that you don't resonate with. That's cool. There can be something that you're hearing from someone else that doesn't resonate. That's fine. We all are on different places in our human experience. But it's important for you to listen to what you need, to listen what resonates true to you, to listen to where you need more love, where you need to focus more of your attention and your energy, where you need more rest, where you need more structure, and start taking the small action steps to actualize it in order to sustain it. The next question I want to ask you is, how is your morning routine? Do you have a morning routine, or are you waking up, instantly going to your phone and scrolling on social media? Yikes. You can do this small step. For me, when I'm charging my phone, I keep my phone in the kitchen. It's not by my bed. I don't want to wake up and the first thing I do is grab my phone. Just a small little action step like that, you can see a huge change. Maybe you delete an app off of your phone so that you can focus, whatever that you need to do to get focused. But in the morning, if you set yourself up with success, maybe you make yourself some tea, maybe you do a meditation, maybe you journal, maybe you work with tarot, pull cards, whatever it is, you work out, whatever it is, eat your breakfast, that allows you to sustain yourself and having some sort of structure first thing in the morning that will also help you cultivate better structure for the rest of your day. You just need to focus on coming up with something that feels and resonates with you, something that feels good to you. Your morning routine can look different from mine. Mine can look different than a friend's, whatever. It's what resonates with you. Not everyone has the same things that they resonate with. So this is where you can also have this opportunity to maybe do something new and see if there's actually resistance to it, or if it's something that doesn't feel good, and do the things more of what feels good as well. This is a big piece that I really want you to also acknowledge is, are you giving yourself the time and space to purge what isn't serving in your house, maybe on your computer, habits, beliefs? I mean, if you've already put away your holiday decorations, for instance, you've purged and released That's been part of the past. It's part of last year. The holiday seasons are over, but you may be in this energy of like, okay, I saw all these beautiful decorations in my house. I put them away. Now I want to also release. I'm seeing more of what's in my house, seeing how much crap I have in my house, seeing how many things I have in my house that I'm holding on to for sentimental value, but they're just clutter. How can you get rid of clutter in your external environment and in your internal mental environment as well? What I want you to understand is that you releasing what isn't serving, maybe you're listening to this podcast, maybe you're listening to an audiobook, maybe you're listening to music, whatever. Do something that can also support. I want you to begin to see how you can multitask in a way that's actually healthy. Like if I'm cleaning, I like to listen to an audiobook so that, I'm learning something while I'm cleaning. And I also am very intentional if I'm cleaning something and I'm learning something of like cleaning away, releasing, whatever. Like make it like a ceremony when you're purging, to make space for this new version of you, to make space for more prosperity, to make space for whatever it is that you're calling in. You have total permission to feel, to release and to feel into what no longer serves. And I'm saying feeling because I want to also be grateful. Connect with what you're releasing and recognize that it was there for a purpose. It was part of your life. Thank it and move forward. I think this is something that we need to do more often, is like, for instance, I'm looking at a vase right now that I'm going to donate. That vase once brought me joy into my house, but it doesn't resonate with me anymore. Thank you. Thank that vase. I'm going to thank that vase for something that it sustained me. But I'm also calling in like new, beautiful decorations. But I need to release what isn't serving to be able to call in these new decorations. This is like habits. These old habits served me at one time, but they're not serving this blessed version of me. I'm going to say thank you to the habits that brought me to this position. But now it's time to regenerate. It's time to upgrade. It's time to transmute. These are the things that I want you to take the time to do for your resolutions to actually stay. And the last thing I just really want to say is like, it's up to you. It's up to you on how you want to move forward into the year. Reclaim your power back. Reclaim your energy, reclaim your time, and cultivate that space to hone in to the intuitive downloads, to the divine downloads, to release what no longer serves, to practice gratitude, to nourish yourself. These are the things that will, if you're in this space of joy, that's how you're going to actually sustain these new resolutions that are aligned with this blessed version of you that is more joyous, that is happier, and that is fulfilled. Focus on fulfilling yourself in this now moment to make space for future fulfillment. And so I just wanted to end with that. If you want to hone in, I have a free download that you can check out. It's called Astro Medicine, and it is a digital calendar that I've created that you can either download an .ics, so an Apple version, or a Google Calendar version. So you'll have the Astro Medicine for each day of the week, every day, for the rest of the year, so you can see what planets are retrograding, what the sun sign is in, whatever the planets are in. I'm in the process of also adding the moon phases as well. And I'm sharing this. You can just go to sabrinariccio.com/astro-medicine to get the free download, or you can check in the show notes. But I want you to start to work with the astro seasons and the medicine that these planets are offering you. So again, you can create smarter, not harder, so that you can actually sustain these New Year's resolutions that you're calling in. And again, just be gentle with yourself, honor the journey, trust the process, make space. And if you like this episode, please leave a rating and review on iTunes, subscribe, follow me over on YouTube, sabrinariccio.com/Sabrina Riccio. I said sabrinariccio.com. Listen to me. YouTube.com/Sabrina Riccio. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click that subscribe button. But we're going to get through this. Happy New Year. And I'm excited to share the first guest of the year next week. I've got Cassandra Solano, and we're going to be talking a lot about trauma and just reclaiming our power back from childhood. It's a really powerful episode. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Sanam.